welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to talk about enabling security on local projects. So you can do this either at the start of a new project or after you've created a local project. Now, an important note is that this is available in version 16 or later. So I'm going to assume that you're on at least version 16.0 or .1 and you can follow along. Otherwise, let's get started. I'm in a blank project and I'm in the default layout. Project browser on the left, properties in the upper right, and notes in the lower right. And in your work area, you may see a start page with a create new. If you don't have that loaded, if you go up here under the Sparx icon, we're going to go new project, and we're going to go to the last project area that we had. And we're going to create a project here, just proposed product. Could be new, anything you want to name it. Now, you have the ability to choose QEA, which is SQLite, introduced in Sparx 16, QEX, which is more of a shared project repository. To me, there's no difference between QEA and QEX. I don't use QEAX because I don't plan on doing large projects. I'm able to share QEA file types with no problems with my team members. And then we're not going to talk about there's Firebird because Sparx can connect to many different SQL technologies. We're going to choose QEA as our file type. So let's go ahead and hit start. As soon as we hit start, we get this set model access dialog box pops up here. Not enabled is just going to create a QEA file because that's the type we chose within our file destination. Enable username and password. We're going to go ahead and select this. You can't change. It's always going to start with admin. That's not a problem. And you must set a password. Otherwise you can't start. So choose a password. Make sure you remember the password. Nothing's worse than what was the password? Now, as soon as we did that, it's going to go to the last login screen, which was UMLO. You have to put admin in here because we are logging in as admin. Remember your password. Leave this checked. Remember UID because you want that to happen. So there we go. We're logged in, and in the upper right, you can see the administrator is logged into this project. The next thing we're going to do is go to Settings tab, and you'll see over on the left of the ribbon a security panel. And in here is users. You have users and you have groups. You can create groups first or users first. We're going to create groups first. And we're going to create a group just called solutioning or solution architecture, and then describe this. And this is the solution architecture group. And then we're not going to talk about linking to Active Directory in this effort. We're going to create all our users and groups within Sparx. Before we save, we must set our permissions and our restrictions. So as far as restrictions, I am not going to have any restrictions. Usually on other stakeholders, I might not allow them to delete certain things or deal with XMI, XML metadata interchange, those kind of things. But for permissions, I'm going to select all, and then I want to say never on anything but administrator provide permissions for security management. Only leave that up to model administrators, desktop administrators, and security. So this is all set. Now we're going to hit save. I'm not going to talk about shared mail. By default, it is not checked, and we're just going to take it as that. Again, make sure you're safe. We're going to go back to the security panel in the settings tab and choose users. So right now we have an admin. You can always change the password to something else at any time you want, but we're going to create a new user. And I'm going to create a new user for UML operator. So that's my login, UML, last name, surname, operator, and then group here, chief architect, solution architect. this is group department, I should say. You can set that to anything you want. We're not going to do that. We're just going to hit save. Now, I can't log in until I change the password from an administrative perspective. So we're going to set a password for UML, and hopefully I did not fat finger that. That's why we confirm. And then it says password does not match. So I fat fingered it. So again, password, make sure you're doing this right. Otherwise, you're going to have big problems. So password changed. We're a happy camper. Now make sure you assign your user to a group. Right now, they're not assigned to any group. So they'll log in. I don't even know if they can log in. Never tried before. Always assign them to a group. And UML is going to be assigned to solutioning. And these are all my permissions or restrictions right here. And again, hit save. Got to make it take, save it to the SQL database. Now don't worry about global options. We already pretty much have it. Remember me, you can check this if you want to. Accept Windows authentication. This is more advanced subject, and your desktop administrator, model administrator, they would work together and deal with this. We'll go ahead and leave that checked just for the heck of it. And we're ready to go with UMLO. We should have a password. I should be able to log in. And let's go over to the upper right and let's log in as another user and test this. So it remembered the UID was admin, and we're going to log in as UMLO with the password that we provided. You can see remember user ID is checked. So we're going to hit OK. And it was successful. If I look in the upper right, UML operator is logged in, and I can go over here, do a test if I want. I can come in here. Let's just create a main folder with a class diagram. That's fine as our cover page, and everything's working. All right, so we just created our first local secure Sparx project, and these are the steps that we followed. Choose a file type. We went with QEA. That's good enough for everything you're going to do. Set the model access. We chose the admin. It's the default. You have to go with it. We set a password. Then you're prompted for login, and we use that password for that admin login, and we gained access. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're adding the user first or you're adding the group first. I like to add the group first, so I remember when I'm adding the user, what group or groups I'm going to assign them to for permissions and restrictions, and then make sure you're testing before you pass the credentials off to a stakeholder. Nothing's more frustrating than to tell a project manager or a particular collaboration team member, hey, well, here you go, and them having to bother you saying, I can't get in, right? So make sure you're testing the login before you pass on the credentials. However, what if you have a project that has not enabled security yet, or wasn't created with that access that we just did? This particular project is local and does not have security. There's no login. There's no, so if I check from the right, I can't change users. This is a local project that anyone can access. So what we're going to do is go to the settings tab. You'll notice that users, groups, and locks is disabled. If we come over here to administrator, you see here, enable security, and we're going to go ahead and check it. When you do that, you get this dialog box here, enter authentication. You're going to use a key that is provided by Sparx. Simply copy and paste that key in this dialog box here and hit OK. Don't worry about this checkbox here. Automatically apply exclusive edit locks to diagram. Don't worry about this, okay? Can't check it right now. Anyways, after you put your key in, you'll be allowed to check that. Hit OK, and you get this dialog box that says, hey, security has been enabled for the current model. And then you can now log in admin with the password. So it gives you the admin capabilities to log in. Just remember the password is literally password, all lowercase. You'll then relaunch the project. You'll be prompted for username and password. Remember, it's admin, and they told us it was password, literally lowercase password. Remember, user ID, that's fine. I'm not worried about it. So now it's going through, setting up everything, and I am now logged in as the administrator. And if you look over at security panel, user, group, and locks was turned on. There are no users in here. I was just in it, but now I've got security enabled. I have to add a user. So it rinse and repeat what we did when we set up the other access in the other project. All right, so we're going to start wrapping up now. I wanted to cover some wins and when not to create local projects. And these are just a few of the points that I typically will cover. And that's that we'll create a project when we're the only modeler, or if the team that we're sharing with from a local drive is less than 5 modelers or users. And then we'll create a local project for certain reasons, such as research and development, very quick brainstorming exercise, or most importantly, when you want to have a secure access to a very important topic. You might be coming off a conference call or collaboration session or a forum and say, hey, let's talk about this. Let me spin something up and then I'm going to share access with you. You'll set up their access and you'll go from there. When not to use this. This is very important. If your team's greater than 5 users, don't use local. Set up a SQL environment. I've shown you how easy it is to do that. And it scales much faster, better, and has better performance. Don't do a local, even if it's secure for a sensitive proprietary intelligence. It's much more secure to set up a SQL environment, ensure that that's behind the proper firewalls according to security and governance. Yeah, sure, you might put on a file share that everyone feels secure and comfortable with, but just be careful when you're not, or you're creating local projects, QEA files, QEAX, or other files. And then if you need to have the project scale faster, like for example, you may start brainstorming with 1 or 4 stakeholders or modelers and go, boom, we're ready to go. You can transfer this project to a SQL environment, a secure SQL cloud environment very, very quickly. And it will scale to the performance objectives that you need to get a particular delivery exercise going. And then you're not going to create a local if you need a model administration group or model administrator to manage that. Often we use our database administrator or DBA for administrating our model deployments and so on, but that's going to be up to your shop. Now, I wanted to put a note down here that why is it gray around 5 particular modelers or users? And the reason for that is performance. Depending on where you've deployed your file share, if you're all sitting in the same office on the same local area network, 5, 10 users shouldn't be a problem. I don't go over 5, but again, it's all driven by how well is it performing for everyone, not just yourself. And then, but if you're sitting on a wide area network, a WAN, and you've got users around the country, even around the world coming in, and they're hitting this local file share that might be performing well for you, check with them and see how well it's doing for them. And then you might want to go to a cloud SQL implementation or something else. All right. So I wanted to make sure I covered the wins and when not to's. There's certainly a lot more. I'm sure you can think of a few. Post them down in comments down below. Share with others. And if you have any questions or concerns, please post them down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. So until that next episode, happy modeling.